So right now what we're going to do is going to be farro. Farro is actually an Italian grain. It's farro piccolo, farro grande, or farro medium. So the farro that we have right here is not gluten-free. So we're just going to start with a little bit of olive oil, right? And let's just swirl this olive oil, right? So let's just add some cremini mushrooms. And whoa. And one of the things about cremini mushrooms is they call them the baby portobellos. But you can definitely use portobello mushrooms if you want them. Just slice them thin and just try to get them, pretty much this consistency. So right now, the oil is gone, but I want to get this to like a meaty consistency. So let's just add a little bit of water, right? The reason why I like to add water after I use my oil is because right after that, that's just going to create more, what you see right here, more steam. And that steam is just going to start cooking those mushrooms, and it's just going to release some of the oil. Why? Because for my next step, as I add my shallots, then at least I can actually have some of the oil. And you can actually see now, you can definitely see how those parts, how the oil is getting kind of like separating from the water, and that's really what I want. So it was actually hidden in the mushrooms. So right now, the next step, these are shallots. You can definitely use onions, red onions, whichever you want, right? So let's just use this and just bring them to a nice caramelization, right? So then right after that, we can definitely add our sun-dried tomatoes. And after the sun-dried tomatoes, let's start enhancing these ingredients with the rest. So let's just do some garlic, right? And the garlic, just because it's very little garlic, there's not much in here, we just want to bring it to temperature, all right? So right now, let's just actually enhance them. I have a little bit of salt and a pinch of nutmeg, because that's just going to give like a really nice aftertaste. And we're just going to add our rosemary, right? Then right after the rosemary, we're just going to just add the liquid. I have a little bit of chicken broth right here. So right now, I just lower the heat a little, right? Because it's still bubbling, and that would definitely make those tomatoes, just start releasing their flavor, reconstituting them, and they're just gonna get more softened. Beautiful. So you see, and you don't want to really bring it to au sec. Au sec would be dry, so you don't want it to take it like that. You just because you want to incorporate more things. So let's just add our farro. This farro was cooked. It was simmered for 25 minutes. 1 cup per 2 of water, or 3 of water, because you have to discard the water. It's not that the grain is going to absorb all that liquid like rice would do. So just make sure that after 25 minutes you check, and if it's gelatinized and if it has opened, as you can see right here, then your grain is done, right? So it's ready for more. So right now, we just have our paste, and remember that we have that chicken broth right in here, so that's what's just gonna give some more flavor. So let's just keep adding. This is some really nice fresh basil that I'm adding to it. And this farro has an Italian flair, I have to tell you, as you can see. If you decide to change, if you cannot find farro, but I really would like you to try this recipe, so you taste something new. And so when you go out and you see it, then you know what farro is all about, right? Oh, one of my favorites. This is actually kale. Kale that has been steamed and chopped. So right now I have my kale, and the kale has all that really beautiful bright green to it. So right now I'm just gonna add a little bit of lemon juice. So that lemon juice, just because we're actually being very conscientious about sodium in this recipe. As you can see, all I had was just a pinch of it. I want my lemon juice to kind of like cleanse your palate, and it's just gonna it's gonna give you the sensation that it doesn't need as much sodium as you probably used to put it into your meals. So we're just gonna add a little bit of cheese. This is where the sodium comes in, all right? So you see how simple this is? It's just sauteing, which is one of the fastest methods, cooking methods. You just fold this in, and you see how beautiful that's looking, right? And the aroma, wow, it's nice. So you don't really want to wilt the kale as much. Some people like to cook it through. I like a little bit of crunch in it, you know? So it actually lasts, and the shelf life would be better when you put it in the fridge for a couple of days. So this is my farro, and this is done. So let me just get a plate for you. Oh, that's looking really nice.